Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I am Chris Randazzo and joining me tonight is multi-directional Zappy Gun, Dan Ryan.
I actually read that one before you said it. I like that one. I like being a Zappy Gun.
Because I need more time to get our next trivia episode together, we're covering the 10, 20, 30, 40 a week ahead of schedule, and it's quite a big one. Beware of bouncing smiley faces because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now. Hi everyone, this is episode 425. It's the week of August 26, 2022, and we are back in our respective homes. We're no longer doing it live.
That's right.
I mean, I guess we are doing it live.
I mean, we are doing it live,
but
just not together in Long Island.
Indeed.
Are you in Long Island?
Far away.
I'm not.
I'm definitely not in Long Island.
Definitely.
But that was fun.
That was fun. I had a really
LA
good
Retro.
time. I had a really, really
Bought
good
me a
time.
copy of Riddle of the Sphinx for Atari 2600 because you're a sweetie pie.
I did. I got a Spider-Man Funko Pop, which made me really, really happy. Especially because so like when I first asked them, I walked over and I was like, "How much do you need for the Spider-Man?" And she was like, "I don't know. I didn't even know we brought this one." I was like, "I don't fucking need your life story. Fucking tell me what the price is. I don't care." And she scanned it on this little app, and like I have the same app on my phone, so like it's all good. And she was like $60, and I went, "Cool," and put it right down and walked away. And I was like looking on the phone, and I'm like, "This thing says like 16. Maybe she said 16." And I heard 60 because she was a mushmouth. She wasn't a mushmouth. That's not nice. It was loud. It was loud in there. You know, they were over in the cafeteria area, and there was a ton of people in there, and like whatever. It was loud. So I was like, nah, she probably said 16. So I walked back over there a few hours later, see if they still had it. They did, and I was like, "I was here earlier. Did you say 16 or 16? She was like, "Oh my God, I said the wrong price. I thought it was the glow-in-the-dark one." I was like, "Motherfucker, you didn't think it was shit. You didn't even know you had it, but okay, whatever." And she was like, "That one's 20. I said, "Okay, $4. It's a convention premium. I'm fine with that. I will gladly take this Spider-Man and put it on my computer so it looks at me while I am, recording a podcast." And indeed I did, and I'm looking at it right now, and it's fucking awesome. I love it. I love the Japanese Spider-Man TV show. It's so ridiculous.
It's pretty good. It's no, was it Indian Superman? But
no,
it's
certainly not.
But then again, what is?
I mean, thankfully, nothing other than Indian Superman is Indian Superman. But I'm really excited. So theoretically, I should be able to order the Marvel Legend for Spider-Man when it comes out. And like we were talking about on the drive up there, like I'm kind of done with Marvel Legends after that. Like, there's really, apart from replacing stuff that I already have that I could get new versions of. Like, I put pictures on our Discord a couple weeks ago when I got that replacement Rogue, and I replaced the Lily Tomlin in the X-Men costume that I had for like 15 years. Like, that's fine, but there's really not a ton of characters that they can make where I'd be like, "Oh, that's a brand new thing that I didn't know I needed." You know? NFL Super Pro, sure. Slapstick. I mean, neither of those are ever getting made.
Yeah, you say that now.
I mean, I said that about Sleepwalker for 20 years, and I now have a Sleepwalker. But I mean,
it just takes patience, Dan.
I'm 100% confident in saying that NFL Super Pro is not getting a Marvel Legend. Slapstick, maybe. There's like
Slapstick, maybe.
There's
Don't
an outside chance.
From time to time.
There's
right?
an outside chance. Yeah, every now and again he pops up. It's like, oh, hey, it's that guy. Love that guy.
What about Wild Thing?
I mean, still much
Who's
more
getting
likely.
made first, Wild Thing or Super Pro?
I mean, Wild Thing almost definitely.
There's got to be like 5 Nikki Doyle fans out there. Like
there has to be.
At least.
I don't know. Hasbro is bringing back starting lineup this year.
Really?
But they're bringing them back with 6-inch like Marvel Legends style. So like highly articulated and stuff. So I mean, there will be the possibility for an NFL Super Pro custom. You know, like that possibility exists, but
that's not nothing.
You're right. It's right next to nothing, but it's not nothing, I suppose. Oh, I don't know, Chris. I don't know. It was a good show though. Like I enjoy. I was absolutely just. I mean, we've talked. It's been so kind of in the abstract about like the explosion that collectibles, specifically video games, have gone through over the last couple of years. So to see it in the flesh, to walk by like a complete in box copy of, I think it was Darkwing Duck for $750. Some guy had it at his booth. I was like, man, that's a lot of dollars for a complete in box Darkwing Duck. Dear God.
Yeah, it was like that copy of Karate Kid, which was like crazy expensive. It's like, damn, when did that one shoot up? Probably with Cobra Kai, but still, it was a bit of a surprise.
It's just wild to see that shit in person, you know. And I almost like it was kind of weird walking around at the show because like there was, you know, the one guy had the Karate Kid complete in box, and then one guy had the fucking Darkwing Duck complete in box. Nobody had James Pond somehow.
Yeah, I was looking everywhere for a copy of James Pond for Genesis, and nobody had one.
But like everybody else, like every booth, kind of just had the same shit. You know?
Yeah,
I felt like
everybody
kind of had all like the same kind of level of stuff. And I don't know if that's just because they haven't had the convention in a while and like some of the bigger dealers didn't come. I don't know. It did like or are just the copies of stuff just gone? Like, are we just out of copies?
I don't know. I mean, I thought I saw a decent amount of weird stuff. I did find it strange that I kept asking for James Pond, and at least 2 different booths had complete in box copies of James Bond Jr. for Super Nintendo. Like, yeah, okay. That's a little weird, I suppose. But okay.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, why is that the thing that 2 people have complete in box copies? I don't know.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of besides the retailers, there was a lot of really, really cool stuff.
There was a lot of cool stuff. I will agree with that.
I got to do the my highlight of the show besides the panel was I got to sit on a Famicom Twin. Somebody had an FC Twin and a disk system version of Zelda playing, and the guy that was running it, I said, like, I always wanted to try to, blow in the mic for the pulse voice, and he was like, yeah, I actually have a save file, I can get to that pretty quick. And so we went to level 5 and walked in there, and I held the remote and I said, die into the microphone, and all the pulse voices died, and I've always wanted to do that. It was
really cool.
That was a thing. Oh, it was amazing.
I think the highlight of the show for me, other than the panel, obviously, was watching my daughters have not only playing an original Pong cabinet, but have genuinely having fun. Like, Pong still fucking holds up, man. It's so great. It still holds up.
Yeah, it's
just fun.
It's just like the same way tennis holds up,
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah,
So I got a picture of the 2 of them playing on an original, 70 whatever fucking Pong machine, and that was awesome. And it's a good show. Like I'm not.
Yeah, it was a really good show.
Please don't misunderstand me saying that like everybody has the same stuff as saying like, oh, it was a bad show. Like I don't think that at all. I think that's more just me wondering out loud about the state of like collecting going forward. I think conventions are really cool, like you're saying, to be able to do and see cool shit. Like one of the things Penn bought while we were there was like a 3D printed xenomorph, like clicky snake thing. And like that's the kind of stuff that you only get at conventions. And I think that kind of stuff, like all the art that was there was a lot of really cool art vendors and whatnot, were really awesome. The fucking arcade layout that Ryan and the guys had set up in just everywhere. Once you went up to the second floor, everywhere you turned, there was an arcade machine, and it was
they really filled the place with all kinds of really neat stuff.
So
that whole
cool.
timeline area was just like the coolest. Just going through all the different systems, and they had Jaguar out there and all manner of good stuff lined up.
But yeah, it'd been like, and then Atari did like a Jaguar. We don't talk about it. Yeah, and just
I picked up a copy of Rocky for ColecoVision for Mike Sheridan, who's trying to collect every Sylvester Stallone video game ever made. I was happy to add to that collection.
That's such a great collection.
It is, and I really did. I wanted to spend more time combing through the games, just because I understand at first glance it certainly looked like a lot of people had the same things, and there was a lot of duplicate stuff out there. But some of the booths had some really cool things. I learned a bit about. Apparently, there's an expensive version of Game Boy Tennis where there was like some sort of picture on the back that's different.
Yeah,
because like Game Boy Tennis. Complete in the box is not typically an expensive thing. I've never heard of this variant of it before. I mean, let's see. I love Game Boy Tennis. I'm trying to collect. One of the things I'm going for right now is trying to collect all the first party Nintendo, NES, Super NES, and Game Boy complete in box.
Sure.
Like that's one of the things that I'm not going for hardcore or anything, but is like I'm putting some effort into getting at least most of them. And like
it makes way more sense than my Funko Pops holding beverages collection.
Game Boy Tennis complete in box, $18.33.
Yeah, that
this
sounds
is not an expensive game.
Yeah.
So this guy had two of them in his glass case, and he was like, "Oh, it's the one with whatever it was." And I was like, "Okay, how much is it?" He was like, "Oh, it's like $150 or something." I was like,
"Whoa,
what?"
No, it's not, sir.
I've never ever heard of some sort of strange variant of tennis for Game Boy that is that rare and expensive. Like, it's freaking tennis for Game Boy. Nobody wants it complete in box except goobers like me.
Yeah.
But apparently that's a thing. I have not seen or heard anything from it since. I want a box for that copy because I love that game. I love that game to death. It's such a fun game. Speaking of Pong, but
yeah, right.
No, it was like that. I got a complete copy of Grand Prix. Well, actually, no. I thought I got a complete copy of Grand Prix. There's no freaking game in it. It's like, oh, no wonder it was so cheap.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of on you for not checking, but...
Oh, 100% is on me. He picked it up and looked at it and said, this is how much this is. So he knew there was no game in it. I just didn't. And it was fine because I have the game. So now I just took my game off the shelf and ta-da, now I have a complete copy of Grand Prix for me.
Instead of a duplicate copy of Grand Prix.
Exactly. And on that quest, I got a copy of NCAA Basketball for Super Nintendo, which is another Nintendo-published title. So mark that one off my list.
There you go. Checking boxes, Chris.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I think next year I'd definitely like to try and get up there. I know we were talking around about it, but like next year, try and get up there. Because we were also there on Sunday. Right?
On
the show
Sunday for
Friday.
A single day. And
yeah.
Like, I would love to be able to get a hotel. I would very much like to get a hotel and stay one night.
Yeah, you and me up in a hotel room, very sexy.
You better believe it. Some cameras. Sell that shit.
Stay up late telling ghost stories, doing each other's hair. Be great. Pillow fights in our 90s.
Doing each other's hair. You mean like what, braiding my leg hair?
Yeah, pretty much. Fucking putting designs in my armpit hair.
It's about all that's left.
I don't know. My beard's looking real good lately. I don't know.
That is true. You were looking mighty fine.
I just got it trimmed like 3 or 4 days before we went up there for the first time in like 2 years. Legit, like it was pretty wolfy and hot and humid. I just couldn't have it anymore. So I went to this really cool barbershop in town with a bunch of like Misfits posters on the wall, and everybody's like heavily tattooed and vaping in the shop, and I'm like, all right, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm in. I like you guys. Please make me look pretty.
Let's see. I know I've got a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I really don't.
It's been a little ways.
The only thing I really started this week, I started Trek to Yomi. I haven't logged into the show in like 3 or 4 days. So I tried to log in today because we were just busy doing other shit. So I logged in today and it's like I've never played the game before. Like, fuck. All right, never mind. I'm shutting this off and playing Trek to Yomi, which is the Devolver Digital published samurai game. And it's really good so far. I really, really like it. It's very intentional in the way that it's designed. Like, combat is very intentional. The movement is very intentional. It feels like the developer, because it was made like only by like but 1 or 2 people, I think, worked on the main development of the game. It's like they played Bushido Blade back in the day on the PlayStation and were like, this is really cool. What if it was an adventure game? And then that's kind of like that sort of, intentional movement is what I'm talking about as you make your way through it. And it's cool that like the sound, the dialogue's all in Japanese with English subtitles. There is an English language option, so I clicked on it for about 13 seconds and went, nope, you didn't put any money into this. And right back to the Japanese. It's got a really nice like film grain effect laid over it because it's all in black and white. It looks very, very similar to how Ghost of Tsushima did the Akira Kurosawa mode. With, like the film burns and like the graininess of it. That's all there. Like the kids came down and they were like, why does this look like that? And I was like, oh, it's an option. You can turn it off. And I turned it off and was playing through the game, and Penn was like, it looks really cool the other way though. I was like, I know, right? Doesn't it? Put it back. If I could put that back on. But so far it's really cool. It's good little story so far. I'm digging it.
Nice.
Pad show.
Done so.
I've done pretty well in the Marvel collab. It's back in Japan, and I've rolled all the new cards except for Ant-Man, because Ant-Man is now, they don't do orb skin. Well, they're still doing orb skin cards, but they're also selling background music cards, where if you get the card, you can change the background music. You play through the dungeon. That means the rolling rates are really low, and you can't trade for them. I don't have Ant-Man, and that's the only card I'm missing. And Google just changed their shit to where, like, before I had my Pad account on an Android device because through Google Play I could just buy shit on the Japanese store, but they've made that not a thing anymore, apparently, is what I've been reading. My Android device died a while ago, but I was going to try to resurrect it to buy Ant-Man, but apparently I can't, and that makes me sad.
Oh, bummer. Well, let's see. No, I've not been playing Pad.
I mean, you really should.
I don't have that going for me.
Or the show.
I have done a lot. I did a pretty major overhaul on a couple of things in the basement here. I think I talked about the one closet where I rejiggered all the consoles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I found a shelf that I didn't think existed. And it's because I have no spatial reasoning when it comes to looking at shelves on the internet, apparently. And it was super cheap. Ordered it off Amazon. It showed up the next day. It was like $45, and it was perfect for getting all of my Game Boy games out of my closet, which is something I've been dying to do since I shoved them all in there when I did the whole VHS tape behind the thing on the major shelves. So I got all those out of there, and that led to a whole bunch of reorganizing. I used to have my DS games under my TV, and then I realized this would look way better if they were PlayStation games, because like my PlayStation games are like deep in the closet. I love PlayStation 1 games, so I lined them all up under the TV, and they look perfect because they're all black. And they look gorgeous there. It was such a better presentation. So I have on the shelf,
and they're all pretty standard, right? Like you don't run into the Super Nintendo problems that you've had,
right? Yeah, no, they're all pretty straightforward. I have no greatest hits games.
Okay,
so they just line up great. Actually, there's 2 shelves. One of them is all single disc, and then the other one is just solid double disc cases. It looks really good. all the Game Boy games out there, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Virtual Boy, and then I have a bottom row that's like CDI, and then all the DS games I took, they're over there now. So that whole shelf is basically all Nintendo handheld stuff plus CDI, which is awesome. And it gives me more room for like setting up the Atari games the right way in the closet and everything. I'm so happy with the way things moved around. It's looking real good down here. So that was a big win. Another weird situation though is I'm having with some of the vinyl stuff that I ordered. So I got I think I mentioned that I got the Battletoads one a while back, and there was a spot on it that caused it to skip during the pause music. So I contacted IM8-bit, and they were like, "That's weird. Don't send it back. We're just going to send you a replacement disc. Sorry for the inconvenience." That took like 3 weeks to get here. But it finally showed up, and there's it's a spot on the exact same spot on the vinyl. It's a little dot, and it causes it to skip in the exact same spot.
That's so weird.
It's extremely weird. So I messaged them again. I was like, because I just went straight to that track. I was like, all right, put on the pause music. Let me hear the pause music go. And it skipped in the same exact way. I was like, did I put the same record on again? And then I took both copies of it, and they both have one dot in the same place, which means at some point, a bunch of printings got this, like this was in the mold. This happened at some point. So I let them know that happened again. They were like, "Oh no!" So we're going to send you another one, and we're going to have them all like triple check it to make sure that specific spot works and that dot's not on there. But thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Because
and it kind of
whoops,
it kind of makes me wonder how many people buy video game vinyl and actually listen to it.
Probably not a ton.
Yeah, it just occurred to me like, are people really listening? Because I'm listening to them. I'm buying them to listen to them. And like I had my Mega Man finals just came in. And oh my God, are those gorgeous. I'm so glad I ordered them. Oh, they're so gorgeous. But Mega Man 2 sounds like trash. Mega Man 3 sounds perfect. Mega Man X sounds very good. I think the fact that it sounds very good instead of perfect is that I think I just need a new needle on my record player. But Mega Man 2 sounds genuinely bad.
Really?
Like, the sounds don't sound quite right. It seems like it's topping out a lot. Like when you're listening to a speaker that's blown or something like that, or you've recorded. It sounds like a lot of that, especially the closer I get to the center of the record. And so I contacted them. Who does that one? That was God, there's so many companies that do all these. It's not IM8-bit. It's Laced Records. I contacted them on Twitter. I mentioned it on Twitter, and they saw that I was posting about it. I was like, try cleaning it and let us know what happens. And like, it would seem weird that it was just a crappily put together record because 3 sounds perfect. And they're both in this. It's a double pack. It's a 2 and 3, and 3 sounds great. So like something is wrong with this one. I hope it's not that I'm just putting too much thought into it. Like, did they literally just slap this music on there and not pay attention to what the difference between digital recordings and records are? Because like when I talk to my friend Adam, who does record mastering for once it did the Snake Rattle and Roll, I can't remember. He does record mastering. He's like, you really have to pay attention to the way this music works for vinyl, and a lot of vinyl that you get isn't actually mastered for vinyl. You have to do it differently. And like I hear some of that in Mega Man 3 because the track that's Proto Man's Whistle, that high pitched noise doesn't sound right. It's coming out of the record and it's sounding crunchy and kind of out of place. Because that's a weird high pitched frequency. Yeah. And it's not, the record was not mastered for that.
And that's not, and I'm not saying this to be like shitty. That's not possibly your record player not being good enough. Is that a thing? I don't think
so.
I have no idea.
It is. I suppose it's possible because I'm not a master, but just from what I remember talking to Adam about it, he said that this kind of thing happens all the time. Like sometimes you'll get a record and it'll sound great. Like I have Fountains of Wayne's first album. I have that remastered for vinyl, and it sounds amazing. And then I have I got the Blue album, Weezer's Blue album, just super cheap reprint of it at Target, and that sounds good, but it doesn't sound like as good as the Fountains of Wayne one that was remastered for vinyl. So like things in that sound crunchy or sound hollow or sound like compressed or whatever, because it's just the digital music pressed onto vinyl instead of it being like, okay, well, how does a record player work? How does a record player translate this sound? How do we make this sound right on this machine?
Right.
And like,
instead of we're just taking advantage of the fact that people want shit on vinyl right now.
Exactly. So, like, I mean, the Battletoads record, besides that spot where it skips, is really cool. And that's the other thing. The Mega Man 2 record was skipping in like just random places. It was just skipping. So I feel like I got a weird pressing, especially because it sounds worse the closer it gets to the middle of the record.
Yeah,
like
it sounds like an uneven mold. Maybe
exactly. It sounds like when it got pressed, it didn't get pressed right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna send them some video of it, and then they're gonna send me a replacement disc for that, and hopefully that comes out just fine. But boy, the packaging for that is unreasonably gorgeous. The artwork on that is like, wow. So that's my video game vinyl ridiculousness that I'm going through. But speaking of video game vinyl, there was a Sunsoft presentation.
Yeah, there was.
I don't know if you saw any of that. It was not what I was expecting. They were like, weird. Sunsoft is coming back, and we're going to announce exactly 3 things.
And they're not going to be like, we're not saying like, you're going to get Little Samson. That's not the first thing that you can get.
Well, that was Taito anyway.
Or oh shit, never mind. So that.
Well, I mean, the first thing they did was that Iki game or whatever that's called. I've never even heard of that one, but apparently it's a big game in Japan.
Yeah.
The second one kind of had the thunder stolen from it because the other company that's working on it announced it like that morning.
Yeah.
And that's the reissue of Gimmick. That's Sunsoft's Little Samson right there.
Yeah.
Gimmick is like.
That's what I was thinking of. I don't know what the fuck I said.
That's a big freaking deal.
Yeah.
Gimmick, I mean, even that one's, geez, how close is that to Little Samson? Like, the complete PAL version of Gimmick is $17.95. A Japanese complete Famicom copy is $902.
Yeah.
Even loose, it's $900 for the European and almost $600 for the Japanese cart. Yeah. And like Famicom carts don't usually go for that much. Gimmick is a big freaking deal, and that is getting re-released on all modern platforms. There's going to be a physical edition. I'm super excited about that. I'm really curious if they're going to, when they say physical edition, I know it means they're going to make a regular physical edition, but I wonder if they're also going to reprint a cartridge for North American NES, and similar to the way like the Wily Wars just happened for Genesis, you know?
Yeah.
Because that would be something really cool. I love Mr. Gimmick. I love that game. It is such a good game. And I'm very stoked to play that with a rewind feature on.
Yeah, for real.
I just pulled out I have it on my EverDrive, my original N8. I forgot to transfer it over to my N8 Pro when I got that, so I had to dig out my old N8 because I kept loading it up. Because the Japanese version, I think it's the Japanese version that has the different sound chip in it, so the music sounds amazing on that. The visuals in that game are it's really just such an impressive NES game. So I can't wait for that, and that soundtrack's getting put on vinyl. That is an absolute purchase for me, no question, because that game's got such a good soundtrack. And then the last one they announced was that Euphoria is coming, and that was a game I discovered on the Wii Virtual Console when it was all messed up because they just slapped the PAL ROM into the NTSC.
Doesn't really work that way.
Game works fine, it's just the music is wrong. It's so wrong. And then they did the same thing when they put it on Wii U Virtual Console. They didn't even fix it. They're like, this is just the way it sounds. Sure it does.
Yeah, no, but
I wound up getting a reproduction cartridge of that for NES that runs the sound properly, and played through it that way years and years and years ago. That was awesome. But boy, I can't wait to get that one physically, because I love that game too. That's another really late Sunsoft title that just kicks ass, and that one's got its soundtrack coming on vinyl. And this is weird because because it doesn't have a very long soundtrack, so half of it's Euphoria and the other half is Journey to Silius. Which, so, I mean, I get it. They're both Sunsoft awesome. Games. Yeah. They're both composed by Naoki Kodaka, but holy cow, can you not find two less tonally similar games? Like, Euphoria is super colorful and goofy, and Journey to Silius is, like, super badass. Like,
yeah.
I like those soundtracks, but I don't know if I love them enough to buy the vinyl on it. Like, I might just for the sake of having something that ridiculous, but, like, I don't know how often I would really go out of my way to listen to those soundtracks. I like Journey to Silius a lot. Like,
again, you're buying stuff to listen to it. You're not buying stuff to have it.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know, maybe I was listening to both those soundtracks just on my computer the other day to be like, would I listen to this on vinyl? And I'm, like, kind of 50-50 on it. Like, I like a bunch of songs from them, but I don't like the whole thing. And if I'm buying something on vinyl, I don't want to buy something, like, because I like one song or two songs. If I'm buying something on vinyl, I'm listening to the album. I'm putting it on and letting it go.
Right.
Gimmick,
you're not spending $20-$25. I don't know how much they are. But
they're closer to like 40 usually.
Really?
I'm not doing that for like a couple of tracks.
Yeah,
like,
no, that it just doesn't make a ton of sense. Like,
no,
I just don't see the point. I mean,
so,
you do you.
On to things I've been playing. I've been playing a lot of Kirby's Dream Buffet. That game is awesome.
Is it?
It's really great. It's so simple, and when I first played it, I was like, man, I don't know how much mileage we're going to get out of this. There's not a lot to it, but it's really fun. It's really, really fun. It's ridiculous that it's limited to 2 players. Yeah. I can't believe there's not 4-player split screen on this game. I don't get it. I don't get it at all, because it's a 4-player racer, but the highest you can go is 2 players and 2 computers. And I do not understand why, because it's perfect for that. And
Nintendo, it's not like Nintendo.
You're right, but it's not really a pure racer. It's more like a cross between Marble Madness and Fall Guys. So like it's weird. It's kind of hard to explain. You roll around as Kirby and you're trying to eat the most strawberries, but you also like get items and try to like knock each other off. Yeah. Like that's one stage is get to the end. And then the next stage will always be some sort of like mini game where it's like defeat enemies and get strawberries, or jump into the teacups and get strawberries, and you're all like in an arena trying to compete with each other to knock each other out of the way to get more of the strawberries. Then you do another race, and then you do a battle royale where they drop all these items and there's all these things going around, and that's where shit gets crazy, because you're just knocking each other off, and whenever you knock somebody out, they lose like 20 or 30 strawberries or something. So like everything can change in that last round. And then they give out random bonuses at the end, kind of like Mario Party, and whoever is the fattest Kirby at the end wins. And Ellie fucking loves this game.
Yeah?
I've never seen her attached to a video game like this before, but she constantly asks to play it, and she will just sit and play it over and over again. Even though she loses, she's getting better, and she just has so much fun rolling around in it. And she's getting pretty decent at it. It's the first game that she's ever been truly, truly into, and I love that. But her and John have been playing a bunch of it, and we just did it for family time tonight. Passing the controller around because it's only 2 players, because what the fuck? But
that's so weird.
It is so weird that it's only 2 players. I don't get it. And I haven't tried the online yet because we've just been playing with each other. But
sure,
it's got a whole online mode. The music's nuts. It's pulling all these songs from like deep cut games all throughout the franchise history. Like they were playing earlier today, and I was working on my laptop, and I'm like humming along to this song. I'm like, this is from Kirby's Pinball Land. What the hell? And it's not like just the original track. It's a new version with like horns and stuff. Like, what the? They really went through. Really went and did all this. And there's a ton of you always unlock different costumes and songs the more you play the game. We've been unlocking a ton of stuff and different arenas to compete in. So it's like the same events, but you get to do them in different arenas that have different obstacles in them, so it changes things up. It's really freaking good. I can't recommend it enough.
That's awesome.
It's so adorable too. The fatter Kirby gets, the cuter he is. Because like they get like, you know, like it, not just like he gets bigger, he gets fatter. So like his little arms and legs are like sticking out, like he can't even move anymore. He's just this big fat rolling thing that's happy as a clam because he's full of candy, and it's fucking adorable. On top of that, John has actually started playing a bunch of Fall Guys. He started getting into that, and
that game's great.
That game's great. I've played a couple of rounds of it too. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't have a ton to say about it. It's great.
No, it's
Fall
great.
Guys rules.
It's been out long enough. Like, it's just super fun. It's super duper fun. All the DLC
it's not a complex
are great.
thing. It's just fun. That's a really, really fun game. It's got a good personality. It's wonderful. Let's see, I tried the Live Alive demo and didn't care for it very much, but apparently I played the worst one to try that out on. I also didn't do myself any favors, and I had some time to myself at night, and I was kind of tired when I booted it up, and it was just putting me to sleep because I was just absolutely exhausted. So that's I want to try it again. I keep seeing so many good things about this game, and I liked the battle system was kind of cool, and I liked the visuals, but the one that I picked was this like kind of stealth mission thing, and I guess I just didn't have the patience for it. It wasn't grabbing me. Nothing about it. You know, the music wasn't grabbing me. The visuals I thought were great, but I didn't really wasn't all that interested in the storyline. It was just like, it wasn't doing it for me. So, but that's the great thing about Live Alive, is that it's all these like mini RPGs squished together into one. So I'm going to try I'm just starting from a different point and see how that grabs me. But
yeah, I thought that one looked really, really cool.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people praising this game and how weird it is, and that's what I want. I want it to click with me. I do. Because I haven't played a new RPG in a very long time that's really stuck with me. So
yeah,
and it's not really new. It's an old Super Nintendo game that we never got, and I love that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I'll give it another try at some point. But I've been watch other stuff like Wave Race 64 hit Virtual Console, and that's just reminded me of that time when the N64 launched, and I was so completely in love with the system for probably like a month before reality set in.
That's really not a long enough time. When you say it out loud like that, that's really not a long enough time.
When it first hit, there was a real magic to like playing Mario 64 for the first time. The water effects in Wave Race 64. That is just a damn good racing game.
It is a damn good looking game.
It's just a really fun racing game. I freaking love both 64 and Blue Storm. Never really played the Game Boy original, but I loved Wave Race, and it was really fun getting into that again, which kind of dovetailed me into the new Horizon Chase Turbo DLC, which I jumped back in and hadn't been messing around with that. I finished all the Turrican games. Super Turrican 2 is freaking great. There's a weird consensus online that like I had heard folks, I'd heard or seen it written that Super Turrican 2 was not great. And when I read about it, I was like, everybody always talks super highly of Mega Turrican, and then I looked a little bit further into it. It's like, well, actually a little bit less so, because I'm not the only one who felt that way about Mega Turrican, about like the multi-directional lasers gone. You replaced it with a stupid grappling hook, which is awful.
Yeah. And
everything I had seen on Super Turrican 2 made me think that these were people who had never finished this game before, because most of every place I saw that complained about Super Turrican 2 was saying that it was like similar to like Mega Turrican, in that the level design had changed it to be more like a Contra game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, that's stage 1. And I felt the same way. Playing stage 1 was just a straight freaking line. I was like, this is neat, but it doesn't... I loved Turrican 1 and 2, and then 3 and Mega were like... 3 Mega and Super were like, okay. Like, Mega Turrican changed the laser into a stun laser, which I didn't like nearly as much as the first 2 games, but it was okay, but it was better than the grappling hook, which was in 3 and Mega. But Super was this kind of weird amalgamation of like levels from those other games all stuffed together.
Right.
And people had complained about the level design being more like Contra instead of exploratory, like the first 2 games. And then I got to a point in Super Turrican 2 where it started changing. Every level was like some weird new thing. And there was a couple of levels that were big exploratory levels, like in the original game. And then there was a level where it would turn into an auto-scrolling shooter, like in Turrican 2. And like, it was so creative. And they kept going through all these weird, different angles. It had the grappling hook, but as an alternative to, like, it had the zappy gun, but then you could also add a different button for a grappling hook that worked more like the grappling hook in Bionic Commando, which was great. And like, by the time I was done with the game, I was the music on the last boss was a callback to like the original Turrican title screen music. There was a level before that where you're like flying on this crazy speeder bike into this Mode 7 vortex of death that's like going into the screen. Like, Super Turrican 2 is freaking cool. I still think Turrican 2 was the best. Turrican 1 I would put in the second best, and then Super Turrican 2 right behind it, and then the rest are whatever they were. But yeah, Super Turrican 2 is great. That whole series, I'm so glad I got to play those. They do not need to be on 2 different collections. That should all be on one collection. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that is real stupid.
It is real stupid. How dare they?
Yeah.
I mean, money. It's obviously...
No, sure.
We can sell 2 collections instead of
I'd
1.
Be thankful they didn't split it into 3, Chris.
That's true. I could have made a Turrican collection trilogy.
I mean, it's weird that we complain about that, honestly, if you think about it, though, because, like, we bought, you and I both, the Castlevania collection, right?
Yep.
And then we bought the Castlevania Advance collection.
Indeed.
And then the Symphony of a Night Requiem, or whatever the fuck that one was called.
Yeah, I didn't buy that one.
Well, I mean, I did. But, you know, because, like...
But, I mean, look at how much was on the Castlevania collection. Castlevania 1, 2, 3, Super Castlevania 4, Adventure, Belmont's Revenge, Bloodlines, Kid Dracula, and Japanese versions of all of them. That's a lot of fucking game. Yeah. The Advance one, that makes a lot of sense. It's the 3 Advance games, which are huge. Like, those aren't beat in an afternoon kind of games. Those are Symphony of the Night size games. Plus Dracula X for no good reason.
But they could have been all in the Castlevania collection.
It could have been. You know, I feel like that would have been a little unreasonable.
I don't.
Dracula X, they could have added Dracula X to that collection and then thrown Symphony of the Night with the 3 advanced ones. That would have been...
That makes a little more sense.
By me. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know.
And, like, same with the Contra collection. The Contra's got a ton of different games on there. And this is, like, 2.5 games per collection. That's not enough, guys. Yeah. It's not.
No, you're right. You're right. Sorry, I dropped my coaster.
It's really not.
It's hot out in my office. My beer stuck to it.
So I'll tell you
out, Evan.
Nah, leave it in. It's important.
No, it is. It's on purpose.
The most important thing I've been playing is I started Stray. I got my I let my PlayStation to a friend of mine to because he wanted to play the game, so he bought it. But you know, it's digital, so it's on my system. So he gave me the system back, and I was like, I'm gonna give this thing a try, and I love it. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. I love the beginning of it more than I'm not that far into it. I loved the beginning where you're just a cat doing cat things, following when the lights started showing up and following the path. I thought that was really, really interesting. And then I got to the room where you have to find the plugs, and then you get the robot thing on your back, and there's a bunch of dialogue. And I was like, you kind of ruined it. I mean, you didn't ruin it. It's still really cool. But this was really special before because there was no dialogue.
You were just a cat.
You're just a cat doing things and exploring the environment, and the environment is funneling me into these different places to do these different things, and it's really, really interesting. And now it's a video game. Now it's like, well, now I'm doing an adventure game where I pick things up and push boxes, and like an adventure game. It's just it became so much more common as soon as that happened. And I still love that I can, like, you know, claw at trees and claw at rugs and just meow whenever I want. It's hilarious. I did experience a pretty hilarious game-breaking glitch.
What happened?
I was It was right after you get the little floaty guy that comes with you.
B12, I think is his name.
I walked outside, and there was nothing there. Except the background. So there was like 4 or 5 buildings floating in nothing. There was no floor, no walls, no nothing. I'm standing in space with like 4 floaty buildings. I'm like, what just happened?
And did it take you a minute to be like, I mean, is this supposed to happen?
I thought about it because it's like, this game's pretty weird. Like, maybe I opened a door into nothingness, and the kids are laughing their asses off because that was the time where I showed them, was like, you got to see this game I'm playing. It's really cute. And like, they were just thought that was the funniest thing in the world. And then I reloaded my last save point, which was back before I got the robot. I was like, oh, come on. Yeah. And so I did it again, and I walked outside like, oh, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Not what I imagined. Different lighting. I had to move off to the right. I had no idea. Just no clue because it was all gone. But
the way that story unfolds, though, it is, I mean, because you're right, it is, the mechanics of it become more common, and the story itself is a relatively run-of-the-mill like dystopian sci-fi cyberpunky kind of story. But
I'm in the robot town now. That's where I just got to.
It just works so well as you go and start talking to the other robots and getting some of their backstory, and like you can do little fetch questy missions for them, and like rub against their legs and their monitors like turn to hearts. It's just it's so fucking good.
It does have such a great personality,
it's
and
so
the atmosphere. The atmosphere is unbelievable in that game. It's wonderful. I'm so glad I'm playing it. And it's nice to have my PS4, running. Yeah. It's nice to be doing something on my PS4. And I'm really, really glad I'm really glad I got it. So thank you, Greg, for buying me a copy of Stray. And it's pretty short too. Greg said he finished it in like 6 hours.
Yeah, I mean, if you do like all the side quest stuff, you can get like 6-7 hours out of it. Or you can blow through it in like 3 to 4.
No,
and that's the perfect time for that game. Like anything,
it doesn't seem like it's going to overstay its welcome.
No, it definitely doesn't. It's really high up on my list this year.
It's pretty wonderful. I'm very, very impressed by it.
I mean, we'll see if Ragnarok gets delayed, but
yeah, true. No idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on for Game of the Year for me this year. I've no idea. There's still a lot of year left, so we'll see.
All right, you still got to finish Death's Door.
Oh my god, I haven't even touched it in so long. I'm gonna pick that thing up and be like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
no idea. I don't even know where to begin.
That's really high up there for me too.
That's a cool ass game though. I very much appreciated you buying me that.
I still haven't even jumped into like Axiom Verge 2. That came out this year, right?
Oh god, that was this year.
Yeah.
That game was great.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. I just haven't. Still waiting on Advance
No, that was
Wars.
last year. That was last year.
Okay.
It came out not that long after Dread.
Oh, right.
It got kind of overshadowed by that. Yeah, no, that was a wonderful game. But right now, I mean, Kirby's going to be kind of hard for me to top. The Forgotten Land. I was really happy with that game, but
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know. I have to really put some thought into it, but not until December. So
yeah, no, we got time.
At this point, we should take ourselves a break. We are going to come back after the break because that's what we do. And
yep, that was good.
I lost my train of thought. The train
done.
just left the station. I've been trying to sell off my Commodore collection. I have a massive Commodore 64 collection. And I worked on pricing all of it over the weekend, and I got it posted up on this Commodore group, and they're like, you are way off base on this pricing. I was like, but everyone says just do completed eBay listings. All right, so I did, and then I knocked a couple $100 off, and it was like $2,500 worth of stuff, and they're like, you're going to get like $500 for this. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not, no.
Yeah.
No, I'll break it. Fine, I'll break it apart and sell it piecemeal. I was hoping to sell it off as a lot, but no. So I just got distracted by something. I got some cool ass Commodore games. I'm never going to use them though. So I'm looking at like, should I keep them?
No.
should I keep because I had an offer on one of the systems and all of the software. And I was like, all right, if I do that, then it's done. But then that leaves me with one Commodore 64, a monitor, and a disk drive. And
no games.
Maybe I keep 5 or 6 games that I think are fascinating, but I'm never going to use them. I'm never going to repair these systems. I'm never going to repair the monitor.
Yeah.
I'm never going to. But one of the games is freaking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's fine. It's fine.
It is fine.
I should just sell it off and then find somebody local to buy the C64s for whatever I have left for cheap and call it a day. But anyway, we're going to take ourselves a break. When we come back, we're going to tackle the 10, 20, 30, 40. Fair warning, the 10, not so good. 10 years ago, it's a bad month. But we'll talk about that in a bit. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com. Our friends over at Trog Tech have recently launched a Kickstarter campaign to create new Nintendo 64 console shells, and they need your help to make them a reality. Called the New Funtastic Series, they're looking to create shells in new colors never produced before, like Extreme Green and Atomic Purple to match the officially licensed controllers, Spice to match the orange GameCube, and a whole slew of others that match the original prototype shells, and even some colors that they came up with themselves. The shells have also been modified slightly to make the cartridge slot region-free, and adding an easy-to-cut area in the back to make things like HDMI mods easier to do. If the Kickstarter campaign is successful, Stone Age Gamer will be an official US distributor, which is why we're talking about it here on this very podcast. If you'd like to see what this is all about, just search New Funtastic Series on Kickstarter or follow the link in the show notes. Check it out.
Sewer surface.
Okay, we are back. For those of you who may be new to this podcast, thanks for joining us. But we do this every month. It is called the 10, 20, 30, 40, where we look at the games that came out on various platforms 10, 20, 30, and 40 years ago this month. So we're talking about August of 2012, 2002, 1992, and 1982. And boy, oh boy, let's talk about August 2012. Let's travel back 10 years. The PlayStation 2, still technically alive, but had nothing on it last month, and again, nothing on it this month. I believe the last 2 North American releases came out next month.
Okay.
So, we'll see.
Great.
Oh, absolutely. FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer.
Oh, so good.
Absolutely. So let's see here. Let's look at the PlayStation 3. Had a whole mess of stuff come out this month. I'm just going to run down the list real quick. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Crazy Strike Bowling, Cabela's Haunting Expeditions, Darksiders 2, Deep Black, Damage Incorporated, Pacific Squadron World War II, NBA 2K13, Persona 4 Arena, Popo and Yo, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure HD, Metal Gear Solid 2 HD, Metal Gear Solid 3 HD, Metal Gear Solid HD, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker HD, Liced Camera Party, Madden 13, Murica Fractured Realms, Sound Shapes, Sleeping Dogs, Transformers Fall of Cybertron, Ratchet & Clank HD, Ratchet & Clank Going Commando HD, Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal HD, Rock Band Blitz, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD. That is a lot of HD remasters.
That is a lot of HD remasters, but some really, really good stuff.
Yes,
not
indeed.
including that Tony Hawk's HD, because that was not great. It was okay.
It's like, how do you mess that up? All you needed to do was put the game in HD.
Yeah, no, they
don't change anything.
They fucked it up, though. Man, those Metal Gear Solid games in HD, though, like, that was good stuff. That was real good stuff. Yes, indeed.
Darksiders 2 is cool, but
I was going to say, like, I want to like the Darksiders games way more than I actually like them.
Yeah, it's
I like
cool.
the idea of them.
Same here. I'm glad they exist, and I think they're cool. I don't want to play them, but I do think they're cool.
Yeah.
And I respect that franchise refuses to die.
It really does.
It's like, no, we've got our fans. We believe in this. We're going to keep making these games. Because, like, it's a belief thing because they're not making a ton of money off of them. It's like, no, this is good. Play it, damn it. But
play it, damn you. Man, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater in HD is a fucking good time. I love that game. I think
that's about it, though. Like, I know people talk, like, Sleeping Dogs, I think, was a thing, but I don't know much about it.
Like, it's a generic action game, you know, like, it was good for the time. You know, the Ratchet and Clank stuff in HD is great. Ratchet and Clank is great. Like, they're so similar, like, they became so iterative of each other.
Yeah.
Until apparently this last one, which I still haven't played, because they had become so similar, but the thing that they were copying was really fun. You know, they're not bad games.
Yeah, it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Yeah. God, I do love those Metal Gear games, though. Okay, I gotta play through Snake Eater again.
It's a bunch of remasters. Remasters were really where this month was at for PlayStation, because original stuff, not really blowing my skirt up. Let's see how Xbox 360 did in comparison. A lot fewer games. We've got Deadlight, Hybrid, Dust Elysian Tale, Expendables 2, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure HD, Damage Inc., Pacific Squadron World War II, Persona 4 Arena, Persona 4 Ultimate Mayonaka Arena, I don't know, Sleeping Dogs, Top Hand Rodeo Tour.
Fuck yeah.
Transformers, Fall of Cybertron, Madden 13, and Rock Band Blitz. So a bunch of the same games.
Yeah, I mean,
Dust
like
and Elysian Tale.
Dust and Elysian Tale is really cool.
I've never played that one,
but
I've heard good things
cool
about
game.
it.
I really like that game quite a bit. I played it like years after it came out too. Like years and years after it came, because I think it was exclusive to the Xbox for quite a while.
Huh.
And then, like, finally came out for PlayStation. I could be way off on that, and, like, I was just lazy and didn't buy it. Didn't play it for a long time, but I do think it was exclusive for a bit. But, I mean, we're kind of glossing over those Persona games, because you and I have never been huge Persona people, but, like, I mean, those games are a big, massive, smelly deal that people still care about.
Yeah, like Persona's a bit. You're right. Persona's a big deal.
Arena, like, didn't that just get the re-release or announced re-release?
That's one of the
Switch?
ones that's getting remastered, I think, for Switch and something else.
Yeah. Like, and that's a big deal, you know. That's pretty
Persona
big.
4. Oh no, it's not. Arena's the fighting game one. Yeah,
Even
Persona 4 Arena is, it's not a traditional Persona game. It's the Persona fighting game, which I guess is still kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Madden 13 is a big deal too, just not to me. Meanwhile,
not to
over
gamers
on the Wii,
with taste, Chris.
Exactly. You want to talk about gamers with taste. Poor Wii. Again, I cannot stress enough how toxic the Wii brand was at this time. Ooh. This system was dead on the vine at this point. We're talking Mama's 2-pack, the Cooking Mama 2-pack, Madden 13, but the cruddy Wii version, and genuinely good The Last Story. This was a bummer because it's like, you know, the Final Fantasy creators making a new RPG that was apparently really good. People had to beg to get it released in the US at all. It sold about as well as you would expect a Wii RPG to sell at this time.
Yeah.
It's got a cult following, but then they moved on to do mobile games after that. And it's like, could you just port Last Story to a system people want to play it on? Like, just put this game in HD at least. Yeah. Like, this game's not even in high definition.
Ew.
Come on. Thumbs down.
I mean, at this point, with, like, 2012, like, we put a man on the moon, Chris.
Right. We can get The Last Story re-released on modern platforms. Come on, Nintendo, you got the money for it.
Do
us all a favor. All right, well, it's all going. It's all getting worse from here. There are 3 releases for the Wii. Let's see what the original DS is up to. We've got The Lost Town, The Jungle, Diamond Trust of London.
That's too many titles.
Yeah. The Lost Town, The Jungle is one. Diamond Trust of London is another one. They're two different games. Followed by Commando, Steel Disaster, Mama's Combo Pack, Volume 1, Abyss, Escape the Virus, Shoot 'em Up, and my favorite, second favorite of this month, Crazy Chickens Pirates. But you think that's good? Let's see what was on. Let's see how the 3DS stacks up. We got 3D Solitaire. We got Touch Battle Tank 3D. Real Heroes Firefighter 3D. New Super Mario Bros. 2, which was fine. Vector Racing, Speed X 3D, and my absolute favorite of the month, Crazy Chickens Pirates 3D. None of those 2D Crazy Chickens Pirates on DS. No. Let's upgrade to the 3D version.
These chickens are pecking your face off.
I mean, the only real thing of note there is New Super Mario Bros. 2, which was completely overshadowed by New Super Mario Bros. U coming out in like a couple of months when the Wii U launched. And like even that I think it's the best of the New Super Mario Bros. Games. But it's still New Super Mario Brothers, which is far too sterile for its own good. New Super Mario Brothers 2 has some fun, chaotic elements to it, but
it's very safe.
It's missing that personality that makes 2D Mario exciting, or that made 2D Mario exciting back in the old days, and when the first New Super Mario Brothers came out. Like, that was really exciting. And then the Wii version came out, and was like, okay, it's all new levels, but it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of doing the same thing. New Super Mario Bros. 2 felt similar. New Super Mario Bros. U changed a bunch, but it wasn't quite enough of a radical change or creative enough to make it feel magical. And, New Super Mario Bros. 2 is probably the only mainline Mario game I've never even attempted to finish before.
Yeah.
I want to play it on a 3DS, and
it just is.
It just is. Well, I wish I could say it gets better from here, but all we've got left is PSP and Vita, and it
does not get better.
It does not. PSP just rolling along with Farm Frenzy 3, Top Trumps NBA All Stars, The Next Space, Chopper 1, and Ronnie O'Sullivan's Snooker.
Fuck yeah, Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's my dude.
Way to get your name on a game. Over on the Vita, not bad. Sound shapes, I hear, is a thing. Cliff diving, additional cliffs, The Chosen. Okay.
Additional cliffs.
Additional clips. All right, then. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 HD and Madden 13.
Yeesh.
So, getting 2 and 3 in high definition portable, that's fun. Good.
That's fun.
But, the Vita's not very old.
No.
The Vita has been around at this point since, where was the Vita launch? I don't even know where I wrote. Vita launch was back in, what month was this? It was in February of this year.
Yeah.
So it's not even, we're not even a year out. We're not even, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 months in, and this is what you got. 6 months into existing. Is there any wonder this system didn't stick around? Because, oof.
It's not what you want.
It's not amazing.
No.
All right, things get better from here.
Okay.
It's all up. It's not amazing. I'm not talking
but better.
Crazy amazing, but better. August 2002, really not a bad year. So here we are 20 years ago in August. PlayStation 1 still cranking them out. Actually, not too bad. We've got Madden 2003 and Game Day 2003. The Planet of the Apes movie tie-in game. But also Capcom vs. SNK Pro, which was a decent port.
That's a good game. I like that
game.
I
mean, it's not the Dreamcast game, but
sure.
It was still perfectly playable on PlayStation. Very good. So yeah, way to keep it going, PlayStation. And here we have the final Nintendo 64 release on the other side of the PlayStation coin, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
That's the final N64 release?
The final US one, yeah.
No shit. That's a good game, man.
I always want to grab a copy of that one just because of its historical significance.
Yeah, it's a good game. I don't know how it is on the 64, but
that's fine. The 64 games were, there was some audio hits, definitely.
Sure.
The audio didn't really stack up to the CD quality sound of the PlayStation ones, but it was pretty decent. The problem is because of its historical significance, it's never dropped in price. A complete copy still goes for close to $100.
I mean, that is not a wise investment.
And a loose price goes for $54.99. I think it launched at $60 because it was N64, so it was more expensive to have that on a cart.
It wasn't one of those $90 launches?
No, not quite. But yeah, that's the end of N64. That was it. No more N64 in the United States. Last game came out 20 years ago.
Wow.
This month. When was its actual release date, I wonder?
Oh.
Tony Hawk 3... Let's see, North America, Nintendo 64. Oh, it's just 2 days ago. August 20th. Look at that.
Son of a bee sting.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over on the PlayStation 2, this is quite a list of games. All right, you ready to start this off? We got 6 football games.
Oof. All right, let me unzip. Hold on. All right.
NCAA College Football 2K3, NCAA Game Breaker 2003, Blitz 2003, Game Day 2003, Madden 2003, and NFL 2K3.
That's a lot of football games.
But we're not even done with sports because we also got Street Hoops and Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX 2.
Ooh, I did like the Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I never tried them.
I
wasn't all that in the Tony Hawk one, so I didn't really mess with the spin-offs.
I like those. I like the Dave Mirra ones. BMX XXX was shit. But, you know.
Well, yeah.
But boobs.
Let's see, we also...
So, you know, that's cool.
Yeah. Good old digital PS2 boobs.
Nothing
Can't
better.
beat that with a stick.
No.
Oh, there's something better. It's coming. We got The Thing. Well, I heard that was a pretty decent game.
Yeah, it was all right.
It's
a good movie.
Twisted Metal Black Online, which is just what it says. Twisted Metal Black, but online.
Twisted Metal
the
Black's
first SOCOM.
Really good.
Yeah, Twisted Metal Black was a good time.
It was really good.
SOCOM was a surprise hit to me. That game, that was a thing for a while.
That was the only reason to have the fucking modem attachment.
Yeah, I wonder why that stopped.
It was, well, that and Final Fantasy 11, I suppose.
Yeah.
Later.
Right,
but
that was the
SOCOM was
the hard drive.
You, like, all of a sudden you couldn't find that stupid add-on anywhere for a little while because of SOCOM.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder why this franchise isn't still kicking.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was so wild. Like, it was, 128 person battles or whatever?
I think
128
so.
versus
the voice
128.
chat. And they made them, they were cranking them out, too.
Yeah, they were and they were good. Like, they were good, well-made shooters. Like, if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, that franchise was gigantic and just completely went away.
Yeah.
There's a story there.
I look forward to hearing it someday.
Okay, yeah. We'll do some interviews.
We got Onimusha 2 came out. It's a good one.
Onimusha. Good stuff.
Commandos 2, Men of Courage.
Ooh, Men of Courage.
Riding Spirits, and of course, the great Turok Evolution, which I believe is where the most memorable villain of all time, Tobias Bruckner, came from.
Yeah, it is.
And for the old any fans of Electronic Gaming Monthly, after this game came out, they had a every year part of their awards that they gave out was for like the worst thing that happened. Always was the Tobias Bruckner Memorial Award in the field of crapulence or something like that.
Something ridiculous. Yeah.
Just wonderful.
So bad. That game is. Oh boy. Oof. It's a good. That's
Tobias
a good month though.
Bruckner.
Not for nothing. That's a pretty good month. Onimusha 2 was great.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Was great. SOCOM, massive hit. Twisted Metal Black, super fun playing it online. That's great.
A ton of football. I know people liked The Thing. I know I sold a bunch of that game. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Not for nothing. The football games 20 years ago, people were nuts for the college football games.
The college football games, and also there was competition. That was the thing every year. What's better, Madden, Game Day, or 2K? Or Blitz, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And then you'll see over on Xbox, they also had Fever 2003.
Oh, that's right.
Because here we are, we're in the thick of the three-way competition, and all three platforms had, I would say, a similar month as far as quality. Over on Xbox, we're looking at NFL Fever 2003 and Madden 2003. Blitz 2003 as well, NFL 2K3, Matt Hoffman 2, Street Hoops, NCAA College Football 2K3, and then you had Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dead to Rights. The first Dead to Rights came out. I know that was a big deal. Sega Soccer Slam, MLB Slugfest 2003, which I think had already hit PlayStation by this point. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of it backwards. This will hit PlayStation later, I think.
Yeah, those were
Prisoner
fun.
of War, and of course Turok Evolution.
Yeah.
So again, solid month.
Yeah,
right.
It's a good month.
PlayStation had SOCOM, Xbox had Dead to Rights.
Well, PlayStation, and did you say Onimusha for Xbox or no? That was still
Onimusha 2.
That was still
Onimusha 2 didn't come out on Xbox, I don't think. I think the only Onimusha that came out on Xbox was Genma Onimusha, which was a port of the first one.
Yeah.
And then the sequels continued only on PS2.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Xbox versus PlayStation. Now in third place, but still a decently solid month, you have GameCube with Smuggler's Run 2 Warzones, Dizzy's Magical Mirror starring Mickey Mouse, Beach Spikers, Madden 2003, NFL 2K3, Turok Evolution, and then the two big exclusives, Super Monkey Ball 2 and Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, that's not nothing.
Yeah, that's not nothing. That's, I would say, all 3 months for all three of these systems did pretty solid this month.
I think I like Sunshine the most out of the 3D Marios that I've played.
It's definitely better than 64 in my opinion. I know that's not a popular opinion because Sunshine has a lot of bad shit in it, but I don't think 3D Mario got properly good until Galaxy.
Yeah, and I still haven't played Galaxy, so
and that's the first one that I would consider a genuinely good game top to bottom. Sunshine, I love so much about Sunshine. I love Flood. I love the creativity of that. It's just that it kind of falls apart about halfway through. Like, just like Mario 64, get enough shines to beat the game and then be done with it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many levels. Freaking Sandbird. There's so much stuff in that game. It's just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And that doesn't exist in Galaxy as far as I'm concerned. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty damn big deal at the time. The follow up to Mario 64, the Mario game finally coming to GameCube, that was a pretty big hairy deal.
Yeah,
so,
like that's a pretty big important thing.
So you got Dead to Rights on Xbox, you got SOCOM on PlayStation, you got Mario Sunshine on GameCube. No matter which platform you had, you were eating well. Like,
yeah, you were happy.
Yeah, because there was something for those audiences, like big hits for those audiences this month. On the handheld department, we've got for Game Boy Color a fat lot of nothing. No games, but Game Boy Advance had Blitz 2003, Madden 2003, Duke Nukem Advance,
Ooh.
Disney's Magical Quest, Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX 2, Urban Yeti, Power Rangers Wild Force, yeah, Urban Yeti, Kong the Animated Series, ATV Quad Power Racing, Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer, Turok Evolution because nothing could escape it, Aggressive Inline, Chess Master, and Guilty Gear X Advance Edition.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like the Guilty Gear games.
I do too, and they made that thing work on a Game Boy Advance. Good for you.
I am nowhere near good enough at them to like play them against people, but I do.
Yeah,
enjoy
and I think
them.
I've played them for like 15 minutes and be like, "This looks awesome," but I'm not playing it.
But I am too old.
Honestly, I mean, Urban Yeti is by far the most interesting thing ever.
Oh,
but
God, what a
definitely
piece
the
of
most interesting
shit
thing.
That game is.
It's freaking weird.
Yeah.
But outside of that, no big heavy hitter this month for Game Boy Advance. Like they that was the one that missed the train. Otherwise, every system really had something good going for it this month, except poor Game Boy Advance. Oh well, let's travel back to 1992. This was a weirdly light month. I mean, I'm looking at July was pretty big. September is massive.
Yeah.
I didn't look up that's because I didn't look up TurboGrafx 16 and Neo Geo. Wait, no, I did. I didn't look up Neo Geo, but I don't think there was anything on Neo Geo this month. It was a light month for a bunch of stuff. So, NES, we'll start with August 92. NES got Capcom's Gold Medal Challenge 92, Danny Sullivan's Indie Heat, Might and Magic Book 1, Panic Restaurant, which is a classic, and RoboCop 3. Panic Restaurant, I think, is the real winner there, and it's a tragically overlooked game.
Yeah, it's a cool little game.
One of the most expensive NES games.
Of course it is.
Panic Restaurant currently sits at, for a North American copy, loose $939. Complete in box, $1,974. Get the fuck out of here. Even the PAL version is 153 loose. That's 412 wild. Complete.
It's not insane. That good. It's a cool little game, but
it is a cool little game. But it's from the Little Samson territory. It's a late Taito game. And Taito and Sunsoft were both dropping these like really interesting, well animated, cool platformer games. They were trying to support the NES late into its life, and those games got such low print runs that they're just they're hard to get their hands on. I really want Taito to drop Samson and Panic Restaurant at the very least. Like, just get those out there into the world. Let more people play those games.
They're really good.
Pretty darn good, yeah.
Really good.
Genesis, on the other hand, not a great month for Genesis. I got 3 games here for Genesis. I got Dungeons & Dragons, Warriors of the Eternal Sun, Side Pocket, and Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing. None of those are bad, but
but nothing to like write home about.
Like, at least NES had Panic Restaurant, and when you see what's on these on the other platforms, like this was definitely a loss for. That's what I'm missing. I didn't look up Game Boy. That's what I'm missing. I'll look that up in a minute. TurboGrafx 16 had a decent month with Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu, Splash Lake, and Neotopia 2.
Love Neutopia 2.
Yeah, Neutopia 2, that's a
great fucking
the killer.
Game.
Yeah.
That is a great
fucking game. Where is that page? Hold on. I got to find the right page. I'm going to kind of look up the Game Boy page in the background here so I can get to that in a minute. Game Boy, where are you? Oh, you're not on here. Oh, you're not on here. That's right. There's a whole other... Finding Game Boy games is hard. That's why. Where's that damn page? Because Wikipedia has them listed in this, like, impossible to read manner that I just hate. This one, I think, is where I can get Game Boy games from. Game Boy Color. I want regular Game Boy. Sorry, give me just a second here. List of games. See, and I took the time to make sure I got all this done, and then I did it wrong. Oh, wait, no. Wikipedia does do it okay. All right, hooray. So, all right, and we're back. Let's see. Where was I? So, TurboGrafx, Neutopia 2. That's an awesome game. And then, Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo, hands down the winner this month. Listen to this crazy list. Mario Paint, which is amazing. Rampart, which is okay. Soul Blazer, it's a big one. Super Play Action Football, okay. Magic Sword, Kablooey, okay. And fucking Turtles in Time.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Seriously, Mario Paint, Soul Blazer, and Turtles in Time. Those 3 alone.
Yeah, that's big.
That's the month right there. That's big. That is an awesome list right there. So let's see what Game Boy had for us. North America, we're looking for August of 1992. November, September, August 92. Amazing Spider-Man 2, the LJN one, not great. Double Dragon 3, the arcade game, not great. Out of Gas, very cool game. WWF Superstars 2. Oh, Out of Gas is pretty cool, but oh my god. Kirby's Dream Land. Yeah, August 1st, 1992. The original Kirby's Dream Land. That was a massive game. That was still, I think, until this one, until Forgotten Land. I think Dreamland was the biggest selling Kirby game too. Yeah. Boy, I love that game. It's super short. It's so simple. The copyability didn't exist, and it doesn't freaking matter. That game is just fun to play. It's a great little pick up and play thing.
Yeah.
Love that game. That's a big one. And Out of Gas is pretty solid too. It's not like the most amazing game you'll ever play, but it's got really catchy music, and it's you're this little spaceship, and you float around, collecting these little gas things. It's almost like an action puzzler to a degree. Okay. What the hell is Double Dragon 3, the arcade game, like on Game Boy? Because the arcade Double Dragon 3 is not good.
No.
I gotta see this. What does Double Dragon 3, the arcade game, look like on Game Boy? Not great. Although, I'm not gonna lie, just what I'm looking at here looks better than the arcade game.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's in black and white, sure, but like it moves well, and that was one of my of my many gripes. The arcade game did not move well.
No,
this is very bouncy. That's hilarious. Oh boy,
very bouncy.
Well, that's 1992. Big month. Turtles in Time, Soul Blazer, Mario Paint, Panic Restaurant,
Kirby,
Newtopia 2, Kirby's Dream Land. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's the kind of month where you're like, oh, okay, I understand why people care about retro games.
Yeah.
I get it.
Which brings us to the 40. The 10, 20, 30. The 40 of the 10, 20, 30, 40. Let's go back to August 1982. Weird month. So, arcades. We had Donkey Kong Jr., Jungle Hunt, and Moon Patrol.
3 games that I fucking love.
Yeah, I mean, Donkey Kong Jr. I think doesn't hold a candle to the original game, but it's still great.
I still love
Jungle Hunt.
And
I love Moon Patrol. Oh my god. That is 3 killers.
Jungle Hunt was my jam back in the day.
I've only recently played the arcade version. I played the 2600 version of Jungle Hunt to death.
Love that game. Love it, love it.
Meanwhile, ColecoVision, nothing. Intellivision, nothing.
Ooh.
Odyssey 2, nothing. No releases for any of them. So how did our fair Atari 2600 stack up to the competition of literally nothing? It did quite well.
That's good.
We have one of my favorite Atari 2600 games, Berserk.
Game's great.
Great port of an awesome arcade game. Love the 2600 Berserk. That game is awesome. A game I've never played called Communist Mutants from Outer Space.
Man, I kind of want to play it.
I kind of want to play it too. Cosmic Arc, which if I remember right is an iMagic joint, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Fireball, I don't know that one. Same with Jawbreaker. King Kong was a game. I don't remember if I've even played King Kong. Phaser Patrol I'm unfamiliar with. Let me get these other ones out of the way. Suicide Mission, Threshold, Word Zapper. Okay. We got a little game called Pitfall. And then we have the real winner, Sneak and Peek. Fucking Sneak and Peek came out this month. If you've never played Sneak and Peek before, look that one up. That's like, it's hide and seek on Atari 2600. It is freaking weird.
I'm gonna just hide here in the floor.
Yeah, you find it just sink into the floor. What is happening? God, that game's weird. But no, seriously, freaking Pitfall was this month.
Oh man, Pitfall's such a simple game. It's such a simple game. It's so
easy
perfect,
to learn,
though.
difficult to master. It is It's one of the first video games I'd ever seen in my life, and it is still so much fun to play. It's got such a great personality, such great character. Of the little when you jump on the vine, and I remember when my cousin showed me, like, I got to the alligators, and then like my cousin showed me you can stand on their heads when they open their mouths. If you're standing on the head, that you won't fall into the mouth. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's what it would be like in real life. I could stand on the head. I just
figured no matter what, like, I'm used to playing. I know I don't think it was out at this point, or it just came out last month, was Frogger, but I didn't play this when it came out. I had played Frogger before. It's like, the lily pad disappears, That's it. The alligator's there is no safe zone. The fact that there was a safe zone on the alligator's head, I thought was just the most clever thing ever. And there's something about the way those pits opened and closed, like the ones that just like, there was something about that really, like, I don't know, something about the way that it was animated that always kind of like stuck with me. That was a really stark visual, although I never understood why when you fell in the pit. Like, I understood when you fell in the water ones, and that was it. But when you fall in the pit, why didn't you just fall down to the lower level?
Yeah.
Like, there's a ladder that I can climb down.
Yeah.
This is just a black hole. Like, where am I going where I'm dying? Like, there's only about a foot of dirt before I get to the lower level. Why don't you fall down to the lower level when you fall in those pits? The whole game's flawed.
I don't know. It's a fucking great game, though. Great box art. I love the box art on it.
Yeah, the little rainbow. I love all those early Activision Rainbow titles. They're so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Pitfall. So, man, let's look at this month.
Pitfall
Berserk
rules.
and Pitfall on 2600. Like, those two are, like, some of my favorite 2600 games. Cosmic Ark's pretty cool, too. And then you've got Donkey Kong Jr., Jungle Hunt, and Moon Patrol in arcades. Like,
that's good shit, man.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know it at the time
month.
because I was 2. But...
Yeah, true. I did not know it at the time. Certainly didn't play these games when they came out. I was 1. Yeah. When I played them later, though, when I saw them when I was just a few years older, this was my imagination right here. Just completely sucked me in. Except Sneak and Peek. I didn't know about that till I was way older.
No.
God, Sneak and Peek. What the hell?
I'm going to hide right here between the floorboards. Just whoop.
Just trust the other player not to look at the screen.
That's right.
Turn around. I'm going to hide.
Turn around. Don't
Good
be
luck.
a dick. Mom, he's looking. Oh, that sounds
Seriously,
like
kids, you can't just play hide and seek. Like,
yeah, I know, right? Go touch some
We're gonna make a
grass.
video game version of hide and seek. Come on.
I mean, no, Chris. Like, that's right up there with like video cornhole.
It's gonna change the world, Dan.
It's gonna.
We're gonna sell millions.
Billions, even. They're gonna
God.
have to make up new numbers.
The Amico stuff that's coming out now, all those reports and everything is fucking fascinating.
I'm sure
they had no grip on reality.
We'll get
all.
back to it at some point.
We will.
That point is not today.
No, because today we are done. That is the 10, 20, 30, 40 for this month. And all in all, the 10 was trash. Every other year, I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, I
for
think we did well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some good stuff.
This
This makes me want to play some Jungle Hunt.
Yeah. That's a good fucking game, man.
I love it. But I'm going to get back to playing some Stray. Not tonight. I'm probably just going to go right to bed. But
yeah, I'm going to shower and going to bed.
Yeah. Well, that's it, folks. That is our show. Thanks for listening. Join us next week when Dan and I will once again be joined by the duo of Square Painter and Tiny Ninja for the return of Trivia Time. Will either of them be able to topple Dan's trivia supremacy? We will find out. Does Dan even have trivia per se?
I don't think so. I haven't won in a while.
You know what? You always win in my heart.
That's good. It's the only place that matters.
All right, we are on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, the Geekade Patreon, which helps us keep this show running week after week, and more useful links. Yeah, that happened.
I heard that.
More useful links than you can shake a joystick at. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Kai Ali. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for being a sexy motherfucker and for making this show listenable for all you folks. We'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it, everybody. I'm looking forward to September. We just started making plans to get all of my other podcasts back off summer vacation, and it's going to be fun. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. On behalf of all of us here at Stone Age Gamer and Dan and myself, keep playing games.